My Little Pony is owned by Hasbro and DXX Media. Please support the official release. Hello YouTube, T-Sparks here. Here to talk about episode 14 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I could tell from the minute this episode aired that it would be a controversial episode. A lot of people are going to get their pennies in a twist about this. And sorry if that remark sounds sexist, it's just a common saying. Anyway, a lot of people, I think, are going to be upset that the show is calling out, obviously us. This was definitely directed at the bronies. But I think before you get mad at Hasbro for this, you gotta realize something. Slice of Life was a acknowledgement from Hasbro that they're happy we're here and they glad that we support them. And it was just a love letter to us. Now this is basically them saying, we understand that you're passionate on the show and that you love it, but you gotta back off a little bit here. We got a plan for the show, and we cannot answer every single question you guys have. Now, they are calling some people out that are way too critical on the show and actually harass the writers and voice actors about different aspects in the show. I've heard it happening before. But before you guys get all ticked off at it, just remember, this is the other side of the coin. Slice of Life was the love letter. This was just them basically saying, alright, just back off a little bit, okay? And I know a lot of you guys are not going to be happy with that. And this episode is going to be a controversial one for a long time. Just remember that this episode, it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I understood all the meta subtext right away. It was so clearly written by Larson. But I'm thinking that maybe they brought Larson in to write this, even though he's pretty much done with Pony, because he could take the slings and arrows that some people will throw at them for this episode. All I'm saying is, don't take it too seriously. Sometimes in our passion for this show, we tend to get really so close to these characters that we get sometimes violent in our defense of their character. There have been very few episodes that actually ticked me off on this show. Episode 9 of this season was the first one to really tick me off. But I understand that with all these different writers, we're not going to get a consistent story for the most part. And sometimes they're going to make mistakes. Now, I'll leave it up to you whether you think episode 9 was a mistake or not. To me it was. But I was about to release a strongly worded review about it, but this episode made me rethink that. Because so many people have already done that already, I could not improve on Miss Entropony's or Tricky Fox's videos on this episode. But guys, just don't take it too seriously. Don't get mad at Hasbro for this. They were just trying to defend themselves. And they did come off a little bit mean, but it was still funny too. You just have to have a sense of humor about these type of things. So, that's all I wanted to say, is, you know, with all the crap that goes on in the world, people get offended over the littlest things. This show is about friendship and being open to other opinions. So, don't go against the very tenets of the show and spew hate just because you think they were telling you to screw off. They know that the show is successful because of us. I know the target demographic also helps, but you got to admit that the bronies are like 80% of this show and the franchise. let's just face it, we spend more on merchandise than the target demographic does, like 4 times. So they are aware of what we've done for them, but they're also aware of how we can be a little too nitpicky. Things won't always go the way we want. And I know that's hard to deal with, believe me. But yeah, it's just the way life is. That's all I wanted to say about this. And I did want to say, I actually like this episode. It's really funny. Starlight was really supportive of Twilight in this one. She was a great right-hand mare for Twilight. And Twilight's freakouts are always hilarious. Rarity's face was incredible in this one. And Dash was a little bit up her own ass here, but that's to be expected with all these people stroking her ego. Fluttershy, I liked her when she stood up for herself. Applejack. Applejack, when you get all these people coming to your farm, just tell them to get the hell out. But that's not Applejack, so it would be out of character if she did that. But I do love Twilight using the Royal Canterlot voice to get people's attention. And I actually don't mind that they left it at the end there where they actually didn't solve the problem. Because I think that was actually intentional. Because that is something that can never be solved. Any fandom out there, no matter what the show or genre, will always have people like those ponies. There will always be people that are not happy and want things to go their way, and they will bitch and moan about them. So there is no way to solve that. It's just human nature. If you want to kill all humans, then sure, you'll solve it. But that's not the way it works, so just don't take it too seriously. And thank you for anyone that actually listened to this, and please support the official release. Bye all.